Tell me if you're on board with this, 49er fans and Guru. Before Trey Lance got hurt, my expectations for the 49ers were get to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Just get to the playoffs, and if Trey Lance has some growing pains there, so be it. Get to the playoffs. Now that Trey Lance is hurt, you got to make a run now. I think the expectations get greater now with Jimmy Garoppolo. And this is because here's what it's come down to as far as I'm concerned. They're running it back. That's what the 49ers are doing. They're running it back right now.
Right.
They went 10-7 last year. They got to the NFC Championship game, and they're running it back with Jimmy G.
No doubt. And why I want to call this stupid or this is not big news, not what you're saying, Steiny, is this was the right thing to do. Now that the kid is hurt, just had surgery, there is no effing way that Kyle Shanahan thought that Trey Lance gave him a better shot or his team a better shot at winning. Okay, so I'm going to retire that, but it still bothers me. But you're right. Now the goalposts have moved. I believe if Jimmy could stay upright, they just look around and I know we're 2 weeks in, Steiny, but you're right. The Niners can go extract revenge on the Rams or whoever they see in the NFC Championship game. And now the pressure's back on Kyle to get what has eluded him, a Super Bowl victory. McVay's done it.
888-957-9570 is the number. Have your goals for this team changed now that Jimmy Garoppolo's back? I think they have to. I mean, isn't conventional wisdom that the team can go farther with Garoppolo than with Lance? And then lastly, I do want to say this because, I'm sensitive to, you guys are negative. Okay, I'll tell you what.
Well, the world's saying, go ahead.
But people are killing the 49ers. And I was saying this to, I think, Evan. I said, this all can still work out perfectly for the 49ers. It can work perfectly. Jimmy Garoppolo quarterbacks this team for the rest of the season, and they make a big-time run.
Okay.
Whatever that is. They get to the Super Bowl. Obviously, to win it would be unbelievable. But they make a run. Then next year, ideally, Trey Lance is ready.
If he is.
Just like this year, and you hope to grow with Trey Lance. And over the course of the year, you see him get better. And now the next thing you know, at the end of next year, you have your quarterback. It just took him a little longer. So there is still an opportunity for the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan to come out smelling like a rose. It's just going to take some more time. And now we must table the Trey Lance conversation.
Yeah, and it goes back to my friend Mr. Ortega yesterday that I told you made a post about he roots for the team. He roots for the logo. We're getting too caught up in names. And if you're a Niner fan, that's all you really truly care about, Steiny. Even if you do think, like Willard, Kyle wasn't at fault and some are split. At the end of the day, the red and gold are trying to get their 6th championship. So you are right. But to me, the smell of smelling like roses, I think, has left the table with the Trey Lance injury because now, if you do win with Jimmy, he's a free agent. Mm-hmm. The Niners are going to be way under the cap. I know you got to pay Bosa. So do we see them spend some of that money before the trade deadline this year? I don't know, but the future is cloudy because now I can honestly look at you in the face and say, Steiny, Trey Lance, now with this injury, it's not like Dak. Dak had skins on the wall. He knew he could play in this league. I'm not saying Trey can't, but if I'm Trey, I'm laid up like, man, I still got some growing to do, but now I got to take good care of my body and get the body right before I can go back in the fire and answer those questions. So I don't know who's going to be at the helm, but right now it's about this year and the Niners. I don't think this has ever happened or better losing their starting quarterback. So kudos to whoever made that happen. If it's Kyle, if it's Lynch, if it's Jimmy, the Niners are better going into their Sunday night showdown against Lil Russ.
415, and this is kind of where I don't view it as a negative.
Okay.
If the 49ers don't win the Super Bowl with Jimmy, then what happens next year? You know what? I'm not putting. You don't have to worry about that right now. You know who's going to be starting for the 49ers next year? Either Jimmy or Trey.
Yeah.
That's who's going to start week 1.
No doubt.
All right. If Trey Lance is ready, he's going to quarterback. If the 49ers make the playoffs, maybe it'll be Jimmy again. I don't know.
But right now, what we do know is Jimmy as long as he can stay upright.
Yeah. The 49ers, now they got to get to the playoffs.
Well, there's
Justin,
no doubt.
Justin in San Jose. Hey, Justin, what's up?
Yo. This is Shanahan's fault. The number one thing he's supposed to do is protect his franchise player, which is the quarterback. And what separates the other coaches from Shanahan that has these athletic quarterbacks that can run is they make them a pass first and don't take what them good is with their running ability and running right up in the middle with 300-pound people that's coming down on him. You don't do that. You don't take what works best for you. Make him a quarterback first and let his athleticism do all the work after that.
Thanks for the call, Justin. Appreciate it. Again, I'm not here to say Kyle's responsible for Trey Lance getting hurt. But what I am here to say is the guy's smart enough. He made a calculation. He made a calculation to run Trey Lance a lot early in his NFL career. A lot. Trey Lance is primarily a runner from what we've seen so far. So if you're going to utilize him like that, you had to know
he's not a
this was an opportunity. This was going to be something that could happen. Your 22-year-old quarterback who's not even fully developed yet in terms of physical ability. He's not even physically done yet. You're going to make him run against pro linebackers and pro defensive linemen when he's coming from a Division I AA school.
And no, I don't care what the Jackals are saying. I can be disappointed in Kyle Shanahan.
No doubt.
On three fronts. One, you let the politics of the pick influence your decision to start this kid. Two, you couldn't, whatever you were trying to teach him, and we know it takes time. It's not Trey's fault. I'm not calling him a bust. He wasn't ready to throw it. And what I told Willard, he is on record last year saying he is not in the ilk of Lamar Jackson. He's a thrower of the football. And you did not treat him or give him the opportunity to be a Kirk Cousins and just fling it back there. And to call those power runs and not the Kyler Murray-esque or all the other quarterbacks, Lamar, that we see beep beep like road runners where the defense gets mad because they're running out of bounds and you can't hit me. You treated him like Jim Brown, and that went into him getting hurt. It was just a matter of time. So although you could say what you want, we'll never have the proof. Also, it was offensive what he did with his body language and just his mouthpiece in the post-game press. You need to go watch Buffalo. They're doing it all over. I mean, that just stunk.
Paul's in Cupertino. Wants to talk about Trey Lance, Jimmy Garoppolo. What's up, Paul? How you doing, man?
Hey, great, guys. Thank you. I couldn't help but call when you guys were talking with the previous crew. But, Trey is, and I really feel bad for him. He's a young guy, and, I can't help but feel sorry when he's going out on the cart. But he's an athletic quarterback, but not an evasive guy like Kyler Murray, who can evade defenses for 28 seconds if you saw that play.
Yeah.
He's far from being evasive, and he's far from being a quick decision thrower also. So, I mean, you can't just coach these things up. I mean, if you remember even last year when Shanahan took out Jimmy in his very first game at the end of the drive and let Trey come in to run into the for a touchdown. So these things. He used Trey to his strength, and he wanted him to get comfortable playing and winning. And using his strength, I don't think you can blame Shanahan for that.
No, you can't blame Shanahan for the injury, but you can say to Shanahan, in the 4 or 5 games that Trey Lance has played, he wasn't gangbusters. We can all agree with that.
Yeah, especially with his arm.
He was okay, right?
Yeah.
So now he's going to enter his 3rd year, and we don't know anything about Trey Lance.
And we don't know if he's going to, and I'm not hating Steiny or being negative, you don't know if he's going to be ready week 1 next year. Hopefully he is.
Hey, we got our main man, Ross Tucker, coming up in an hour. Ross Tucker coming up in an hour. On the other side, I'm going to take some of your phone calls, and also I got to talk about don't even try to make an excuse this year when it comes to the 49ers.